Oh man, I have so much work to get done before this deadline, but I'm so sleepy. I'll never get all this done in time. I'm in some deep
Shut your mouth! You need some Deca Grey coffee to get over the finish line.
Huh? Who are you? Where'd you even come from?
What if I said from your mama's house? Deca Grey coffee. Just drink it.
Oh wow, that's strong coffee.
Yeah, it is. Deca Grey coffee packs the punch to knock your sleepies the f*** out. We got what you need for every occasion.
Work deadlines?
Valley blast off, Buster.
No downsides to insomnia.
Overnight road trip with the family?
Get you a whiff of this Costa Rica comet, brother.
Paranoia.
Late night game sesh?
Mocha Mars, duh.
Night out with the boys?
Whiskey way, bro.
Never sleep. It's the enemy.
Put your sleepy ass in submission with Deca Grey coffee. Visit at DecaGrey.com and enter promo code SLEEPY for 20% off. Deca Grey!
Bucky's Basement. Bucky's Basement.
Welcome to this week's episode of Bucky's Basement. I'm Bucky, and as always, in the basement with me today, I have Old Boy
Andy Dufresne
and Juicebox.
Warm.
And we are back with another episode of Cage Fight. This is our bi-weekly series on Bucky's Basement. It is a limited series, so we hope you're listening. If you're not, tell your friends, where we put two cages in a cage and cause them to fight each other to the death.
So hold up. If people aren't listening, how can they tell their friends? If you're not, tell your friends.
If you're not
Mom,
listening,
tell your friends.
Tell somebody who's not listening, and if they're not listening, they'll say, hey, we heard these guys have this really good podcast where they're fighting Nick Cages in a tournament-style battle. I haven't listened to it yet, but I think you should. And that is how you get listenership from not listening.
Got it.
Yeah,
Math.
Just math.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we are back with another episode of Cage Fight, our tournament-style bracket happening every Monday and Friday in March. We are excited to bring these episodes to you. This week we have 3 fights on the docket. This is our first ever episode with 3 fights. You're going to get to hear Nick Cage characters from 6 different movies go battle head-to-head and see who wins. We are up with some heavy hitters this week. We've got Seth from City of Angels. We've got Peter Lowe from Vampire's Kiss. We've got Ricky Santoro from Snake Eyes. We've got Amos from Amos and Andrew. We've got Jack Singer from Honeymoon in Vegas. And we've got Stanley Goodspeed from The Rock.
There you go.
And we
Did you
are
practice that?
Yeah,
wow.
I didn't. We've been doing it so many times.
So improved.
Speaking of that, if you haven't gone back, go back and listen to our episode of Casting Cage, The Rock episode, where we all try to do a Sean Connery voice. It is classic. But we have watched 28 Nick Cage movies. We break them down for you on a series called Casting Cage.
Right.
But we are doing this for you, or actually we're doing this for us because it's a lot of fun. We hope you've printed out your bracket, but let's just go ahead and get into it because we've got 3 fights this week. It's going to take up a little bit of airtime, but we've got some serious arguments, and we're bringing them to you. Up first, we've got a successful executive businessman versus an angel who just wants to be a human. This is me versus Juicebox, and Old Boy is our referee on this particular fight.
Should we get like a powdered wig for the judge? They have to wear the wig.
And do you have to speak in like that high voice, like, oh, I determined that this is the winner?
I like it.
Okay. I will order that off Amazon
right,
to my wife's chagrin.
A fop wig? Is that what it's called? A fop?
Maybe.
Anyway, up first, fight number 1. Without further ado, we have 1998's City of Angels main character Seth versus 1988's Vampire's Kiss character Peter Lowe.
This is an interesting matchup.
It is. It's a 10-year acting difference.
bizarre.
Two completely different characters in these movies. We've seen Nick Cage evolve throughout the years, and he goes from one extreme to the other.
I mean, this is like Peter Lowe's like the eccentric Nick Cage, and then we have the most toned down Nick Cage in City Adventures.
We have like subdued like guy on Xanax Nick Cage.
Right.
So let's see how this is going to go. If you guys have been listening to these episodes, you know how we make a decision. We're going to throw rock, paper, scissors directly at your screen. Speaking of that, watch us on YouTube. These episodes are incredibly produced, and they look amazing. So it is Juicebox versus me this for this fight. We're going to throw it. 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Juicebox beats me with scissors. I had paper. I lose again. I have yet to win a paper, rock, scissors.
Oh, man, you should get better at that. I'm going to go first. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, I got really excited for a second.
Sorry.
All right, my defendant is
Start.
Peter Lowe's from 1998's Vampire's Kiss. All right, Peter Lowe is a successful business executive. He murders a girl in a club, so he is definitely willing to kill. I hate to say this, and I don't condone it, but he is also willing of rape. So he rapes a woman. He is completely capable of doing bad things. He also, in this movie, becomes a vampire. Vampires are extremely hard to defeat, right? Vampires have skills. They can live forever. You know, their only downfall is the daylight, right? They can bite you. They can turn into bats. They can, transform themselves from one place to another very quickly. They have this allure to them that can just overwhelm you with, their complete existence, and you are, you bow down to a vampire. His manipulation of Alva in this movie is another thing that, just completely brings out a very strong character. He can he can manipulate people into doing them what he wants, including finding files. He suffers from multiple personality disorder, which can be scary and irrational, causing someone to do very bad things to their opponent. When you have multiple personality disorder, like we saw in movies like Split, you have some craziness within you that is willing to do whatever you need to be done to make, the kill. He can also say the alphabet very aggressively, which means he is kind of a crazy person, right? And you can't trust crazy people. They will do anything. This Peter Lowe would dominate this character Seth in a fight. I will say in my rebuttal why he would dominate Seth, but I want Juicebox to allow himself to tell me about Seth, because I don't think his argument can hold up to the dangerous person Peter Lowe would actually be in real life. He has murdered, he has raped, he has become a vampire. He is a crazy and irrational person, and that is my defense or my offense in this complete fight. Cage fight.
All right, is that your time?
Yep.
Aggressive alphabet. Okay.
Okay.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah,
Juicebox?
hit me up.
Go.
Okay. He is a crazy person. I'll give you that. I feel like that was like the only thing about your argument that was worthwhile. He does not become a vampire. So any talk about vampire powers or anything is moot because he's not a vampire. Like, it's established in the movie. He manipulates a woman that needs a job to take care of his family, and then he later sexually assaults that woman. Like, if that's a show of power, I don't know. That's a weird show of power. So, on the other hand, we have a legit angel. Somebody that, like, I don't even know how to argue this, because in his angel form, he's, like, unkillable. Like, they show him slice through his hand with a knife and, like, nothing happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way to kill this. So, for the sake of this, let's just say that they fight after he's fallen after Meg Ryan dies. So 6 months after the death of Meg Ryan, Seth is unrecognizable from what he was prior. He's teamed up with fellow fallen angel Nathaniel Metzinger to right the wrongs of some of the deaths that Seth has witnessed as an angel. He starts with the truck driver who killed Meg Ryan. Turns out that guy had actually been drinking that day, and it wasn't totally her fault. Seth and Nathaniel go from there on a killing spree, taking out anyone that's wronged somebody. They take this to New York City and encounter Peter outside a club, taking advantage of a woman. What happens next? I think you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We've got a hypothetical thing going on here. We've got after the death of Seth, and let me go ahead and explain a little bit about Seth, right? His main responsibility is to appear to those who are close to death and guide them to the next life. Like, he's not even an angel that saves people. He's not even like the angel in It's a Wonderful Life that comes down and, prevents a DUI and a crash into a tree from happening. This is a very pussified angel who just wants to become human because he wants to bang Meg Ryan, right? He becomes human after a moral struggle only to immediately lose what he became human for. I'd get it if he was still an angel and the attributes to fight, but now he is just a weak human with feelings and probably wouldn't hurt a fly based on who he was in the rest of the movie. Peter Lowe murdered a girl in a club. He murdered someone in his thing. I don't think in your hypothetical scenario that Seth and a garbage man, Messinger, fine.
So I don't know how to argue this because it's like, is it after his? I mean, if he's fallen to earth, he's become a jaded person. He's not just going to be regular old naive boring Seth. He's going to team up with Nathaniel, who is the angel of death, which we've discovered, or the prince of darkness maybe, or some sort of dark angel.
That's right.
And they're going to start like a vigilante justice escapade. That's the end of my argument.
All right. So
that's my hypothetical of him taking on Peter Lowe.
Peter
Lowe kills women. Peter Lowe kills women.
I got it.
But he's capable of murder.
By biting a woman's neck with fake plastic teeth. Sure. I mean, that is weird.
Something. All right. My question is, this does take place for Juicebox. It does take place in his human form, right? Because I guess
yes.
Because there's no way to kill him otherwise, right? Like,
yeah. No. I mean, yeah. If he's the angel, then there's not even a match.
Right. You're right. All right. So
because he doesn't kill somebody and he also can't be killed.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
I agree. Bucky, your boy is not a vampire, okay? Like, I think that's pretty clear.
I got it. Just trying to throw it in there.
I'm not sure I have a... Let's see if I...
trying to alternate faxes.
But what if he was?
But yeah, right. Sure. No, right.
But what if a lot of things?
I think it's real funny because when we reviewed that movie, you were like, he didn't rape that lady. But now here you are, and he's like, he's a rapist. So
because I also thought that was his split personality.
Okay. No, okay. I know where you're going. I have to go. All right, my final judgment is, as much as I hate it, it has to be Peter Lowe. He's he's a psychopath, and he's capable of murder. I just don't know if our boy Seth has it in him at all. At the end of that movie, I really also thought he was going into the ocean to kill himself, but
He's going to feel, because that's what weak humans do, is feel.
Right. It was probably...
If you would have argued...
This is like the second episode in a row that you're like talking about emotions being weakness. I'm not...
Right.
In a cage
fight... We need to talk off mic, I feel like.
In a cage fight, if you would have brought the fight that Seth was fighting me in his angel form, I think there might have been more of a
But Juicebox is right. Juicebox is right, though. He's unkillable.
He's unkillable. So what's the thing? So I'm like, So my argument then in that sense is I don't come up with like an alternate thing. I'm just like Seth is an angel.
Yeah, throw it out.
Like that's it.
Seth is an
Mic
angel
drop. That's
who
it.
can convince Meg Ryan to kill for him because she's so in love with him.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Seth is an angel. He outlives the
He'll
dude.
just wait.
Like that. He just wins from
He'll
old age.
sit on a sign in the freeway till the dude dies.
Okay, that could
So,
have been an argument.
I think in his human
Okay.
form, I think
Fair enough.
I think the advantage goes to the other guy, to the vampire kiss guy,
All
just
right.
because he's delusional
Yeah.
and murderer.
So I took the wrong
murderous.
argument, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you gotta think. You gotta think outside the box. Look, I got the higher
I
seat
did
here.
think outside of
Yeah.
the box. That's what
did,
fucked me
yeah.
over.
I got the much higher seat here, and it wasn't fair from the
That's
beginning.
tough, man. That's tough, juice box. Because I wouldn't know where to go with that guy, like with that guy.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
I do like the Dark Angel.
all right. Fight number 2 is back to Old Boy and I.
Oh, sweet.
We have 1998's Snake Eyes' Ricky Santoro.
Snake Eyes?
Snake Eyes.
Is it Eyes?
Isis?
Eyes. You know,
Eyes.
Rick.
Multiple eyes?
Hey, it's Ricky.
Oh, I know.
Rick
Oh, it is
Santoro
fucking
from
Ricky,
Snake
dude.
Eyes. We have 1993's Amos from Amos and Andrew. That is the budding offensive comedy starring Samuel L. Jackson and Nick Cage.
This is a tough matchup.
It's going to be a very tough matchup.
Oh, I don't think so at all.
Juicebox gets to be the referee or judge this week.
Sweet.
So, or for this cage fight, and the way we do this is a good old fashioned throw of rock paper scissors. If you're watching YouTube, you can watch us do this. We do it honorably.
Mm-hmm.
So, without further ado, 1, 2, 3, vote. 1, 2, 3, vote. 1, 2, 3. I got him.
Go
I
first.
win my first rock paper scissors.
Sweet.
I'm excited about that. So I've got Amos and Andrew versus Amos from Amos and Andrew versus Ricky Santoro from Snake Eyes. I'm going to allow Old Boy to go first.
Good. All right. I threw that match. I wanted to go first.
Did you? Because it took 4 rounds.
Yeah. I want to get you off your feet here. All right. Ricky Santoro. Ricky's down on his luck after losing his job with the police force, but he didn't lose his influence with the criminal underbelly. If anything, he's become even more influential and corrupt, using his keen sense to build his own empire. And to do that, he's had to shed some moral trappings to become a ruthless crime boss and killer. Now, cops are on his payroll. We've seen him kick the shit out of somebody in the movie. He stopped and solved a domestic terrorist plot, okay? And he took a fucking beating from a heavyweight boxing champion. I mean, took a straight beating. Not everybody can do that. And now he has no moral compass. He has nothing to lose. So, he's formidable. I'm actually thinking he may be a fucking number 1 seed because he's a criminal at heart. He's just wore a badge of police force honor. Like his moral compass was weak as shit to begin with. He's dangerous. And here's my thing, man. Amos is a dipshit redneck who only got out of jail because the police chief let him out. Think about that. He's a petty thief. He has nothing. Plus, at the end of that movie, he's trying to flee to Canada, but goes the wrong fucking direction. He's an idiot. He doesn't have. We're going against somebody who is really quick on their feet and can outmaneuver and outfight. I rest my case.
Are you taking notes or texting somebody?
I'm taking notes for questions I want to ask. You ready? Go.
I guess so. I mean, if you're timing this isn't even a fight. Like, I already won based on Old Boy's, opening arguments. I'm defending 1993's Amos and Andrew's Amos. Amos is a low-rent criminal. I get it. But he's willing to do anything to be set free or reduce a sentence. Amos knows his way around a shotgun and knows his way how to kidnap and hold someone hostage. Those are extreme skills in a fighting scenario, including using duct tape and the proper way to tie someone up. That is a skill. Once you grab a hold of somebody, you've got to make sure that they're going to be a hostage in that way. He not only kidnaps Andrew, but he kidnaps another couple as well, the Tollivers. The thing about petty criminals is they will do just about anything to survive. Skills are unlimited as they live a less than reasonable life and have been surviving for quite some time based on common sense and the skill to get by, street smarts. If you want to go on the other side and talk about Rick Santoro is a cocky detective investigating a political assassination. He can't even figure out his best friend is crooked. Like, he's dumb. He is aloof to the entire thing. He's constantly getting duped at every single corner. And even when he does figure it out, and he gets caught and has a moral dilemma. Like, he doesn't believe it. His best friend can do this. Ricky, the dude never kills anybody in this movie, right? He never even comes close. In fact, the one guy he was chasing killed himself. Like, he didn't even get the opportunity to kill him. And you bring up this point, criminal at heart. Yeah, you know what? Ricky Santoro is a criminal at heart. Why? Because he's in jail for 18 months after this movie ends. So I don't know what you can even say to defeat this low-rent criminal that will do anything to get by because he, that's what he does. Sure, he went the wrong way. Maybe he decided to go the wrong way.
All right, you done?
Done? You got 30 seconds
I'm
left.
done.
Yeah, dude. Your buddy was in like a little one-cell Andy Griffith jail. Ricky Santoro went to hardcore jail for 18 months as a cop and survived. Think about that. That's the toughest shit you can go through. To go into a prison as a cop and come out, I bet he's fucking running the fucking prison. Your buddy got saved by the guy he kidnapped with a frying pan. And the people you're talking about he kidnapped are some old white people in the burbs, man. Like, he didn't do anything. He's not capable of murder. He's a fucking fall guy. And Ricky Santoro said, I was made for this sewer, and I am king. Dude, your boy Amos would get murdered in his sewer, and I'm telling you that. Your boy can't even find his way out of his own little small town. And you think he's going to fucking take on like a crime boss, a guy who runs a city? Shit.
First of all, nobody's a fucking crime boss in this thing, right? Your hypothetical crime boss, you're talking about a private investigator, like a low-rent private investigator. And I'm talking about...
Police detective.
Police detective. Okay, police detective. All right. Who's afraid... Who gets, like... can't even figure out that his best friend is the bad guy, like, or the guy in the movie. You talk about only.
Neither could you.
You talk about Amos being in a small Andy Griffith style jail. This motherfucker's been in and out of jail since he was 10 years old, right? And he has been in some prisons. The only reason he's in a small Andy Griffith style jail is because of the situation he's in and the town he's in, and that's all they got, right? They caught him, and that's it. Rick Santoro gets beat up. He's corrupt and can't even get away with it. He goes to jail. He loses his family, job, and his mistress. He's cheating on his wife, by the way, and he's going to get railed in jail. He's going to get railed by all of these dudes, and he's a gambler.
You're done.
He's a gambler.
You're done.
Yeah, he's all around bad.
Done.
Gambling problem.
Yeah, you named every bad thing about him, dude. Like, he's a bad man.
Not going to help kill.
All right. So, a question for old boy. Can Santoro kill somebody? I mean, like, I'm sure he can, but like,
at this point,
he's not a cold-blooded killer. All his criminal shit is like money laundering and like he's bribe guy. He just wants to be the mayor of New Jersey or where Atlantic City or wherever.
And he can't.
Like,
Is
he capable of killing somebody?
Absolutely, he is now. Yeah, I think by the end of that film, he is 100%. I mean, I'm not sure. Dude, I'm telling you, a cop going to prison, he probably killed people in prison. Like, he is a killer now.
I mean, you can't speculate. If I can't speculate about what Seth would have done after the death of Meg Ryan, you can't speculate about what he would have
Did
done.
you see the Louis
But I can tell you,
Guzman scene?
I can tell you, Amos isn't a killer.
That was okay. So that leads into my next question: has Amos ever killed anybody?
We don't know because Amos has been in and out of prison since he was 13 years old. We don't know what any of those were.
But it would just all felt like it was just like petty shit.
Okay.
It is petty.
I think that
They even
he
say
might
it.
have been able to kill someone because, again, he, like Old Boys had in a previous fight argument, he knows his way around a shotgun. He held that shotgun well. He's kidnapped that many people. I think he would be willing to do it. I think if somebody offended the pizza girl, he would have killed them.
Fair enough. So, old boy, another question.
All right.
So, Santoro is kind of dumb. Like, he could not figure out his best friend was fucking manipulating him. You know, like, I understand, you know, there's an emotional blind spot there, but he did get played.
Well,
What's to say that Amos is not going to play him? Because, like you said, he's a career criminal con man also. Like,
I think he already recognized. Well, the thing is that guy came out of left field, and the bad guy in that movie tricked you guys too. And I think
that's not the fight.
Gary
That's-
Sinise
that's
did
the-
not trick
That's
me.
not the argument.
Right, but the
I
thing
didn't.
is,
I didn't. Yeah, I don't care. He tricked me. I didn't know Gary
but the
Sinise
thing
was the bad guy.
But the thing is that the guy that tricked him was a fucking high-ranking army, whatever the fuck it was, who he was in the army with. So he also has army training, motherfucker, and he has police training. He is.
It obviously didn't help.
Yeah, dude, you had a high political murder. He figured it out. I mean, he got to the bottom of it. But
After
I
he got his ass beat by a fucking professional boxer.
yeah, dude. I mean, you think his first, like, somebody gets shot, and the first thing he's going to do is say, "Man, it was you." You think, like, if we're at somewhere and you think, like, somebody gets shot, is my first instinct to say it's you?
Sure.
No, man. You're like, you were over there doing something and, like, it happened. You have to investigate a
Not
crime.
first instinct, but I mean,
you have to investigate, and he investigates, and he
Sure.
figures it out.
I'm just saying the boxer Tyler was on Gary Sinise's payroll, and who was on Rick Santoro's payroll? Luis Guzman that he chased downstairs, like, and shaked him down for some money.
Uh-huh.
the only person. All right, that's it.
Yeah, that's way out of
That's enough.
Amos's
We're
league.
going way out of control here.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, I have to go with Santoro.
Fuck.
I mean, I'm sorry, like, you know, like, you guys both put up good arguments, but, like, seriously, like, he is a crooked cop, and he knows how to use a gun, and he could kill Amos and would kill Amos if it, like, meant that he was going to be the mayor of Atlantic City or wherever. Like,
came
he
down
is,
to it.
Amos
he is
wouldn't have given him a chance.
He has morals, but I feel like he is also capable of doing whatever.
Right.
No,
Don't have morals like Amos. You
Amos
kill him
is like a
first.
small town criminal, man. He is not like, he's kind of clever, you know, and he outsmarted the dummy cops and fucking whatever.
Barney Five, yeah.
Yeah, in the super rich town that they were in or whatever that shit was. Like, I don't know. He's not outsmarting an Atlantic City, New Jersey detective who's already crooked.
Yeah.
All right, we've got fight number 2 in the books. That means Rick Santoro from 1998 Snake Eyes defeated 1993's Amos from Amos and Andrew. Up next, we have fight number 3 in the final fight of the Cameron Poe bracket. Because in this bracket, Cameron Poe got a bye. He was the number one. That's just how the cards fell, how we decided it. But up next, we got an exciting matchup between Old Boy and Juicebox, and I get to be the judge and jury and referee of this fight. We have 1992's Honeymoon in Vegas versus 1996's The Rock. So
this is tough.
I'm kind of excited about this. I am.
I'm glad you are.
I want to see what each person is going to bring because I hoped that I got, remind me, Honeymoon in Vegas.
Jack Singer.
Jack Singer. I hoped I got him because I think I could have debunked Stanley Goodspeed. And that's all I only wanted to say that.
Yeah. All right.
The more, in fact, this is how I make my decision as a judge. The more you use a Sean Connery voice in your argument, the more maybe points you get from me.
Okay. All right.
But the way we decide this is a good old-fashioned throw of rock, paper, scissors. Juicebox versus Old Boy. Jack Singer versus Stanley Goodspeed. The Rock, Honeymoon in Vegas. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Juicebox is killing it with the rock, paper, scissors. So he is in a good position to allow Old Boy to go first or decide if he wants to go first with this character, Jack Singer from Honeymoon in Vegas.
I'll let old boy go first.
Okay.
Go.
All right. My boy was instrumental in subverting and preventing the largest domestic terrorist plot in history. Not only is this cat super smart, he's a biochemist, he's also an FBI agent. That means he's trained in tactical driving, surveillance, field operations, firearms, and has to be at peak physical fitness, as well as he's had intelligence training on kidnappings, bank robberies. This cat should be a number 1 seed. We fucked up. Goodspeed kills the Marines responsible for the terrorist plot. Keep in mind, these same Marines killed a squad of Navy SEALs. He's calm, he's collected, and he's battle tested. He's formidable as fuck. Stanley has top level security clearance. I could create endless scenarios where he kills Jack Singer, but in reality, he'd probably just subject both him and Singer to a biochemical agent and then cure himself and let Singer die. And Singer wouldn't even know. I'll rest there. I've got some rebuttal stuff. Or I could keep going. Fuck it. Jack Singer was tricked by a professional gambler. He's way out of his league with Goodspeed. Singer's biggest obstacle is intelligence, which Goodspeed has in aces. Singer doesn't know when to fold him. And my last little bit is that Singer's sidekick was James Bond. He kept up with James Bond, even an old-aged James Bond. That's it for now.
All right, that was that opened as a very competitive argument, but it closed on the weekend. So I think the door is open for Jack Singer to come into this and actually put up a fight. Because I'm excited to ask my questions, but we've gotten Stanley Goodspeed's argument. Now it's Jack Singer's. Juicebox, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to argue with this because most of what you said about Jack Singer is fucking true in my opinion.
It's so tough.
So, I'm not going to be a great defense attorney on this. Jack Singer doesn't understand the consequences of the fucking actions that he takes. Like, he is a fucking idiot. Like, he gets into a giant debt gambling, like, no sense. So I guess he's kind of a wild card in that sense. You don't know what he's going to do because he just makes the worst decisions. He's unpredictable. I guess in the end he'll do whatever it takes that he has to do to like accomplish whatever he's trying to do, but at the same time wildly incompetent, tricked by a gambler, fucking manipulated by his dying mom. I don't got a fucking lot of arguments for Jack Singer. I'm sorry. Like,
that was
I'm
tough,
sorry.
man.
Like,
that was really tough. I did research on him too, and I was like, oh man, this guy got just run around by the
yeah. Please
little
tell
Jimmy
me what
Con.
his fucking good points are. Like,
Yeah.
he was kind of a good guy, I guess. Like, but he wouldn't marry his girl because he's like manipulated by his dying mom.
Yeah.
There's just so many bad things. And then like doing the research for this, I could barely write anything, and then I just remembered, like, God, maybe I kind of hated this movie.
Yeah, maybe I should
No,
go back.
I just hated James Caan.
Jimmy
Anyway.
Con, little Jimmy Con.
Okay.
I stop. I'm done.
I see how you feel defeated already, but I have some questions that might bring up some different points here.
Fair enough. It's old boy gets his rebuttal.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the rebuttals. I feel like that whole thing was a rebuttal.
that was an admission to defeat, basically.
All right, let me get a rebuttal from old boy. You have 1 minute and go.
I'm not even sure Jack Singer knows how to handle a weapon, or if he's ever even been in a physical fight. Because I think in that movie he has every reason to fight old little Jimmy Kahn, and he does it.
Yep.
And he does it. And meanwhile, Goodspeed's fighting for the fate of humanity. I mean, the man rose to the challenge and fucking came out on top. He should be a number 1 seed, man. We missed the boat on this cat. Like I started looking up FBI training. I was like, oh shit, these like I know we
Over who though?
Over I don't know, man. I think maybe even little
Sailor?
Junior Brown.
No.
I
Not
think
over Sailor, not over Junior Brown. Junior Brown beats the fuck out of people in cold blood.
You're right.
anger.
You're right. Yeah. So does Sailor.
Like Goodspeed
so does
stepped
Sailor.
up, but
Yeah.
He
But
might
he's
have the
got-
training, but he is extremely timid in the beginning of that movie.
He's cool and collected and diffuses a fucking
He's
bio
not putting on a
bomb.
House of Pain song and fucking beating the fuck out of
That's
somebody.
true, but he diffuses a fucking biochemical weapon like it ain't no thing. Like that takes
All right,
a lot
Tom.
of that takes nerves.
Tom. All right, Juicebox. You have 1 minute to rebut the defense
No, I
of
think
Jack Singer.
I have nothing to rebut.
No rebuttal. All
I
right.
have no
Well, I've
rebuttal.
got some questions.
Our rebuttal was that debate right there.
Cool. I've got some questions. All right. I'm going to start with Juicebox. You mentioned some things that were intriguing to me that could possibly bring out, some kind of attempt to compete here. You said, what is Jack Singer willing to do? And is Jack Singer willing to give up his beautiful girlfriend to little Jimmy Kahn for an entire weekend? And if you're willing to do something like that for your gambling debts, I believe you're willing to do more. Do you believe the same? Is it a whatever it takes mentality?
I think I don't know. I mean, he does it because. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, does he? Does he? Who?
I have no defense of Jack Singer. Like, I wish he wasn't. I wish we didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I wish he wasn't in this thing.
Okay, I have a question for old boy.
Go for it.
Do you wish you could take back the quote that you said on this podcast that Singer doesn't know when to fold them?
I did that for your benefit, and if you're gonna partially bias me for it, sure, I'll take it fucking back. But if you're gonna blame me for that, fuck you.
Okay, I also want to bring up, do you believe that Stanley Goodspeed is a nerdy biochemist underneath his entire shell of all of those accolades that you mentioned and only needed Sean Connery because that's the only way he would have survived The Rock? There's no way he would have survived The Rock without Sean Connery. And if you can't do it on your own, is that really a powerful trait?
Well, I don't know if you remember watching The Rock. Have you ever seen it? I mean, I know other
I
than
saw
the
it
one
with
time
my grandmother.
I know you've seen it since. They go in together, but they're separate most of the time. So he's on his own. I say sidekick, but he's really on his own, operating on his own. So he's by himself.
I understand.
He
When
is an
he is
agent,
by
dude,
himself, does he get caught by the guys
And
multiple
prevails.
multiple times?
and prevails.
Okay. Finally, I have one more question for old boy, and that is all I have. Do you regret not saying any of your opening argument or your rebuttal in a Sean Connery voice? And can you give me one right now?
Of course.
Okay. All right. With all of the information at hand that I have from both, I'm going to have to award Stanley Goodspeed this victory. Obviously, we saw it coming. He probably should have been considered. I'm sure he was considered for a number 1 seed. But
Yeah.
he is coming out hot in the gates. It was an easy argument, but that's why this series and this idea is so creative, is because you can take a Nick Cage character that's been forgotten about, but they have certain attributes and traits that are push them to the top, or willing to fight for what is the end of this series. They're willing to fight for their lives. They're willing, if you put two
Right.
people in a room, I don't want to die. If me and old boy are in a room, I'm not going to die. I'll use
today.
anything in that room to murder him.
You got brothers?
I don't have brothers, but I have ideas and thoughts in my head.
Oh, unless you're a fucking vampire, I think we know who's gonna win.
Yeah, we will use anything to murder each other. It's like that. It's like that scene in The Dark Knight when the Joker, cracks the pool stick in half and just puts one down and says,
essentially that's it. We're doing that with just 2 Nick Cage characters per round.
We're going to bring this to you twice weekly until March Madness is over, until we get through this entire bracket. Again, you can go on our social media and print out this bracket. You can check them out. You can see what the future episodes are going to look like. We thank you so much for watching. You can find us at buckysbasement.com. Social media, Google, the internet, as
just the internet.
That Juicebox likes to say. Go on the
it
internet, Bucky's Basement. And always, if all else fails and you're out there and your team lost and you are sad because they are no longer competing in basketball.
You drew Jack Singer.
Right.
If you're sad that your team lost out there, well, what you need to do is go to our all-new Bucky's Basement tournament of Nick Cage characters and pick up the phone and
Tell your mama and them.
Cage fight. Cage fight. Cage fight.